The Man in the Shell, the story of my life. Once upon a time there was a little boy who at the tender age of 5 built a little shell. The shell was big enough for only him, and the surface was very hard. Something must have scared him, for into the shell he ran. He stayed inside and felt secure because no one could come in. The shell was small with little light, so loneliness set in. Afraid of pain outside the shell, he pondered, should I scout? But loneliness, his only friend, compelled him to come out. The world met him once again as he went out to play. To look for friends and be one was his only plan that day. He tried so hard to make good friends, but much to his dismay, the very thing which scared him sent him on his way. So to the shell back he went and entered once again. Now he knew it was safe to say, I lost another friend. The little boy was not aware of his created shell, that every time he entered in, the walls began to swell. Thicker through the years the walls began to grow, and very soon, as you will see, deep in his life it shows. The little boy was terrified, very much afraid. Now the boy at age of 10 began to go astray. The shell became his best old pal. Degrading words could not come in. It would be years before he realized what pain can come from others' sin. In this shell he learned to live, alone with all the pain of life. But where within the shell is room for his newfound friend named Strife? The inner shell just wouldn't grow, so how could this boy fit? At 12 years old and growing, his only choice was sit. So sit he did in the shell as fear controlled him on. Of course, rejection didn't help, evening, noon, till dawn. One new day outside his shell and his longing to be free, the path of shame introduced the boy to his newest friend called whiskey. What a relief this new friend was. It felt so good to be free. I'm out of the shell and I'm not scared. My friend is right here with me. So off he went, his friend and he, to explore outside his shell. Little did the lost boy know he was on his way to hell. Whiskey lied to him from the beginning, right from at the start. But a child doesn't know the devil hates his heart. After walking with his friend for just 3 years or so, problems suddenly came alive and streams of tears did flow. The little frightened child, not knowing what to do, thought it best by now if he would just quit school. So quit he did, and ran and hid inside his shell once more. But now at age of 17, he began to feel sore. I know, he said to his friend Whiskey, let's go take my car. We can drive forever after we close the bar. Now the wheels began to turn, the wheels of his new life. A life of pain and sorrow, loneliness and strife. When he awoke, he saw the bars. Bars and no way out. Whiskey and fear had led him to a 30-year-long bout. The walls of institutions now became his shell, but loneliness met with him in his new small cell. Prayers went out from his mouth and all the questions why, but the only sound which his soul heard was the sounds of his own cry. Alone, alone, cried the man, what forever have I done? My friends who lied are now all gone. Will I ever see the sun? I want to be free, cried the man. In his agonizing pain, you stole my wife and children. My own life you've slain. Where are you, friend who lied to me? It came and stole my years. You have left me nothing but emptiness and tears. Loneliness and loss followed him for many years to come, until one day the man surrendered to Christ, God's only Son. Someone said he'll set you free if only you will die. So after fighting 30 years, the lifeless man did cry, O Lord my God, you sent your Son to set the prisoners free. So here I am, Lord Jesus Christ, take every part of me. The shell is gone, the fear no more, I laid it by his side, because now that Christ lives in me, the frightened boy has died. To tell you all what this means to me, words could never tell. The only thing I know today is that I don't live in a shell. I'm free. Just one more thing I have to say. My old friend Whiskey was by today. He knocked and knocked till I let him in, and there he stood, old black sin. Does the man in the shell live in this house, he said. I'm sorry, he died. Christ lives here instead. If you weren't so blind, you could clearly see the man lost his shell and found eternity.